Hi everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. All right. So let me jump right into it. Matter of fact, let me cut my phones out right quick. I didn't cut them off. Oh, yes, I did. I cut them off. All right. So let me jump right into it. So, for those who think tax season is over because you got your money, tax season is not over. It's a lot of people who have not filed. A lot of people who have not filed is small business owners, or people who are self-employed, or who might possibly have a side hustle. And so today I want to talk to you in reference to what you need to know about your taxes, because unfortunately it's a lot of people who are small business owners or in the gig economy, and they don't realize how that type of income affect their taxes. So before I get started, make sure, if you're watching a replay or you're watching right now, make sure you drop where you're from in the comments, and also drop, if you're a small business owner, like your website link, your social media link, whatever you want to put in the comments in reference to your business. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to self-employed and your taxes is you knowing what your business entity is. What I have seen, especially a lot in the last couple of years in reference to small businesses and their business entity, is a lot of people don't know what they register for when they sign up for the LLC, or if they decide to be a Inc., a corporation. So a lot of people don't know what their entity is, especially a lot of married couples. So, one thing you need to know is it is really kind of four different entities: sole proprietorship, LLC, corporation, and nonprofit. The most popular ones are the sole proprietorship and the LLC. Now, if you register for an LLC and you're not the only organizer, like you're not the only member on that LLC, that means you have a partnership. Okay, that's one of the things that's been real confusing when people come get their taxes done. It's a step that you have to do if you're a partnership before you come get your individual taxes done. So you got to know what your business entity is. And the other reason why you need to know what your business entity is so that you know what tax form you should actually be filing. Now, if you're using a tax pro, your tax pro should ask you, what is your business entity? Because I see a lot of taxpayers filing on the wrong tax forms when it comes to their taxes. So let's talk about it. So a sole proprietor and someone who is a single member LLC who has not elected to be taxed as an S Corp, they file their taxes on a form Schedule C. And you are filing your business information on your personal taxes. So that means that your business and your personal is not separated. Now, I know when you file an LLC, that's the purpose of filing it. But when it comes to federal taxes, if you're a single member LLC does not have elected to be taxed as an S Corp, or you're a sole proprietorship, you file your personal and your business information together. Now, if you're LLC who have more than one member, meaning you have more than one organizer on your paperwork, you have to file a partnership return. Now, a partnership return is really an informational tax return for you to show what your profit and your losses is for your business. Now, each partner will get a form K1, and what that K1 does is it passes through to your personal taxes. This is why if you have a partnership, you should be filing on a form 1065, and you should file that particular form before you file your individual tax return, because whether you have a profit or a loss, it has to go on your personal taxes as that income or that loss passed through on your personal taxes. And again, this is something I see that a lot of people have registered for often, and they don't realize that they need to file a partnership return. So again, if you file an LLC with someone else and your name is not the only name that's on that LLC, you need to file a partnership return before you file your individual taxes. And by the way, the partnership returns are due in their deadline date is March the 15th, which is like a week away. So if you do have a partnership, you need to be doing two things. You need to either be filing an extension for that partnership, or you need to be filing it so that you can go ahead and do your personal taxes before April the 15th. Now, the other way is, you've been a corporation now, or you've been an LLC electing to be taxed as an S Corp. Now, for this particular situation, again, just like the partnership, your tax returns are due in by March the 15th. Now, when it comes to your business and your personal being separated, this is the entities and the taxations that allow your business and your personal taxes to be separate. Now, one thing that a lot of people are trying to be taxed as S corps, they're not being educated about that. And I'm gonna do an actual webinar next month to go more in detail about all of this. But people who are electing to be taxed as an S corp, a lot of you not paying yourself a salary, and that's a part of being taxed as an S corp. And one of the requirements, you have to give yourself a W-2. Your business have to give yourself a W-2. But again, if you have elected to be taxed as an S corp, or your business is a corporation, your tax deadline is March the 15th. Also, if you have chose that way, you need to make sure that tax return is done or completed before you file your personal taxes as well. Because being taxed as an S corp is also a pass-through entity that has to be reported on your personal taxes. So it's really important for you to truly understand what your business entity is. That's one of the most important things as a self-employed small business owner. You need to know in reference to your taxes. And it used to be where people kind of got it, but now, because of all the different information that's being provided on social media, a lot of people are filing different ways, and they're really not aware of how their business is set up. So before you can do anything as a small business owner, self-employed person, that's the number one thing you need to know. Now, if you are self-employed, sole proprietor, single member LLC, even if you are being elected to be taxed as an S corp, you should be paying your estimated taxes. And for self-employed people, you need to be paying your self-employment taxes. Estimated taxes and self-employment taxes are three different taxes, right? So self-employed taxes is for Social Security and Medicare. And as a small business owner, you should be paying self-employment and Medicare. If you're not paying the SC tax when you file your taxes, that's why a lot of y'all be owing, because y'all have not paid the self-employment tax. Now, when you pay estimated taxes, it's kind of an interchangeable word in a sense, but estimated taxes are taxes that you are paying so that you meet your tax liability. So it's three different things that you need to do as a small business owner in order for you to make sure that you're not owing the IRS at the beginning of the year. And again, that's paying your taxes quarterly, either your self-employment taxes or your estimated taxes when it comes to your tax liability. What I see a lot of people doing and a lot of people talking about is small business owners paying their self-employment tax. But what we forget is that the small business owner still might have a tax liability, so you still have to pay your income taxes as well. And that's a big issue when it comes to people who elect to be taxed as an S corp. What ends up happening is, of course, you do have tax savings, because as an S corp, you do not have to pay self-employment tax. But the problem with that is you're not educated to know that you still have to pay income taxes if you do not have enough deductions and credits to keep you from having a zero liability when you are filing your personal taxes. So if you always wonder why you owe, how you pay your taxes, you're supposed to pay your taxes at least 4 times a year, quarterly. Again, it's based off your self-employment tax, which is your Social Security and Medicare taxes, and also making sure you're paying enough in to meet your tax liability, which is ultimately your income taxes. So you got to pay taxes. A lot of y'all not paying your taxes quarterly, and that is the reason why you are owing. Now, what you do need to know that your taxes are not based off the gross amount that you made. Your taxes are based off your net income. So your net income is your gross income, okay, minus your business expenses or deductions, and that's how you get your net profit or loss. Okay, so if your business has a loss, then you're not going to be responsible for any taxes. But if your business do have a profit, then you have to pay taxes on that. Now, you might not have a tax liability, but as a self-employed person, you will have self-employment taxes if you have a profit. And again, that's the reason why you are supposed to pay your taxes quarterly. Now, another thing that we need to talk about when it comes to self-employed and on your taxes is a lot of self-employed people think that if they spend a lot of money in their business, that when they file their taxes, that they're going to get some of that money back. Now, in most cases, you're not going to get that money back. You're going to only get that money back if you have paid some type of taxes, meaning if you pay some taxes on your if you have another job and then you have a business, or if you paid your taxes during the year. That's the only how you're going to be able to get some money back if you from your business expenses. But it's not like you're just getting the money back that you paid out. You're just getting the money back that you overpaid in taxes. So if you out here spending a lot in your business thinking, okay, when I file my taxes, I'll get that money back, understand business expenses are just what they say they are. They are expenses. You're not getting that money back. What that does is it reduces the amount of money that you will be taxed on, or ultimately it's going to help create what your net profit or loss is in your business. So that's what business expenses does for your business. Now, as a small business owner, a lot of small business owners do not track their income and their expenses during the year. Maybe more than I would even like to talk about. But it's so important as a small business owner that you know your numbers. Like, you know the income that's coming in. You know the amount of money that's going out, so that you can understand what your business is actually doing. And it's important for y'all to do that, because it's hard as tax pros when you come in and you don't have your numbers together. Like, a lot of y'all are making a lot of money in your businesses, but you're not showing where you're spending that money out. So ultimately, if you're not showing where you spend some of that money out, you're going to end up paying a lot in taxes because you are not keeping up with those expenses. If you don't want to hire a bookkeeper or an accountant to do your bookkeeping, it's always a good thing to do at least one. Do a sales sheet. Go old school. Track your expenses weekly, monthly, daily if you need to. Or it's so many different apps out here that you can connect your bank account to that will do a lot of the calculations for you, where you can ultimately be able to run reports at the end of the year to kind of get an idea of what some of your expenses and the amount of income that you possibly made for the year. Now, I I can't go over a whole lot in this one video, but I just want to make sure that if you are a self-employed individual, and you're filing your business, of course, on your taxes, that you are aware of, you got a lot of obligations, right? It's a lot of information that you need to know. But the most important information that you need to know is, what is your income, what is your expenses, and what is your business entity. The IRS is now starting to audit a lot of small business owners. And in the event that your business is selected for an audit, you want to make sure that your expenses and your income is as accurate as possible. The way we look at expenses and income and how we feel like we're tracking it is not necessarily the way the IRS is going to look at it in the event that you get audited. One thing I want to say before I get off of here is about a lot of you using Zelle and Cash App in reference to pay for your expenses or even to accept your income. Now, understand this. In the event that you're audited, right, and you have to show the IRS your expenses and your income, and the only thing you have is Cash App and Zelle that's on your bank statements, you need to understand that you have to have an explanation or a receipt of what that purchase and what that income is. It can't just be cash out to somebody and you can just say, oh, this was for this, and you don't have nothing to back it up. So be careful when you're doing so much of your business using Cash App and Zelle, because if the IRS decides to audit your business, then you're going to have a problem being able to prove that that information is accurate. They might disallow it. So again, I promise y'all, like next month, I'm going to offer a webinar in reference to all of this information in more detail. I just kind of want to come and give y'all a few tips in reference to you understanding a little bit about how self-employment and your taxes work. Now, before I leave, let me tell you this. A lot of y'all still need y'all taxes done. Understand expert tax service is there. Expert Tax Service is still accepting clients. You can make an appointment with us, or you can go on our website at www.experttaxservices.com. Expert is spelled Expert, services.com. And we're looking forward to working with you, especially small business owners, because that is my passion. I know there is not enough education out here in reference to what you as small business owners should be doing as far as your taxes go. I know that a lot of times you go to tax companies and they are just pretty much inputting your information, asking you questions, but a lot of you are not being educated on how taxes work, how they affect your livelihood, and what you should be doing as a business owner. And so at Expert Tax Service, that is one of the things we pride ourselves on, making sure our small business owners are aware of how things work when it comes to their taxes. Now let I see you, and make sure that you all are watching the page. If you have not subscribed to our page, make sure you subscribe to our page and be following our page. I know that I'm probably going to do the webinar right after tax season, probably the week of the 15th, in reference to the webinar. I'm excited for it because I do it often for different groups, and I know the information will be very helpful. Hopefully some of this information help some of y'all understand your tax obligations a little bit. I could talk about it all day, so I was just trying to cut it short. It's so many more things that I can say, but the most important thing that I feel that's important when it comes to small businesses that y'all need to know right now is, again, know what your business entity is. to know that you are responsible for paying quarterly taxes, but not just self-employment taxes, but estimated taxes, just depending on possibly what your tax liability could be. Also, making sure you're tracking your income and your expenses, and making sure you have them as accurate as possible, and understanding that the IRS do not look at expenses and income the way you might think they do. So making sure you have all your stuff, all your ducks in a row. So in the event that you do get audited, because they are auditing more small business owners, that they not disallowing your expenses, and you're not being getting additional tax because of that. Now, again, if you're not following our page, make sure you subscribe. If there's any information that you feel like somebody that you know that's a small business owner need from this particular video, make sure you share it out. Make sure you tag a small business owner in it. Again, I'll be dropping the flyer for the webinar probably towards the end of this month. We'll talk more in the webinar. We'll talk more about what your obligations is, and they'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have in reference to your particular business. And I'll see y'all next week. I think we're going to talk about houses and those different types of deductions for homeowners. But make sure you're following us, and make sure if you're watching the replay, drop where you're from. And if you got small business owners, drop your business link in the comments. Bye, y'all.